Alright guys, so I was in the middle of a timing belt change on this ALH TDI in my Jeep Wrangler, and I wanted to look at an issue I've been having with just seeming like excess blow-by, even though I did a compression test and compression looks good on the cylinders. So I pretty much came to the conclusion that I've got oil coming out the exhaust ports, so I probably have a bad valve seal or something. So to go ahead and check that, I pulled the turbo off here, and you can see, let's see, get in here. You can see the first port's dry, second port is dry, third port is dry, but this fourth port back here, let's see if I can get in there. It is like dripping wet. And I mean, that thing showed almost 400 psi compression, so I don't think it's coming around the ring. I don't think that's possible. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the cam and see if I can look at that valve seal and see what it looks like from under the lifter there. So let's take a look at it. And I almost forgot to mention, so with the crank down there at top dead center, that actually puts number 4 cylinder up as well, so we'll be able to push the spring down, and the lifter, or with the lifter off, we can push the spring down and the valve will hit the piston and let us compress the spring. If you were doing this on number 2 or number 3 cylinders, you'd have to rotate the crank 180 degrees to get there. But we won't have to mess with that for this one, so. Alright guys, so I got a little ahead of myself here. I made a little bracket to bolt down on the clamp bolts, and then I had this from doing heads outside of the, or you know, taken apart, to be able to get those little retainer clips off of the valve. It works pretty well, just reaming that socket out to sit on here like that, and then you can go ahead and take your pry bar. This one won't really work here, but you can sort of get the idea. That lets you be able to push down on it. Let's see if I can show you it moving up and down there. And you just have to get enough distance in between there to be able to use a little, I use a magnetic screwdriver is usually the best. You don't want too much magnet or you can't get these little retainers out. They can be a real pain. But anyway, went ahead and pulled the retainers out there in the center. I'll try to get a video of them going back in again, but yeah, then you just pull the valve here, pull the valve and its little cap there, and then you've got your valve seal. Oh, now I did it. Well, I didn't plan on that being part of the video, but apparently if you drop the valve seal, there is a chance it will fall in one of these 3 holes, which are the only ones it can fit in and go all the way down to the oil pan. And of course, I had to smash it to get it to go through the oil drain, so you can't tell too much, but you can kind of see there's the new red one, and even with it smashed, the black one smashed, it's quite a bit bigger. It's obviously stretched out, so that must be what the issue is. So we'll go ahead and get a red one in there, and I think I'll go ahead and do the intake one since I'm right here, but I'm probably not going to mess with the rest of them for now. That should fix my exhaust oil leak, so we'll see how that works. Alright guys, so there you have it. Got the retainers back in and popped it back out. Made sure they're seated good. It's kind of a pain to do this though. I mean, you really don't want to drop one of those retainers. So I'm probably just going to do this one for now and see how that goes. Getting everything else figured out on this engine, just making sure there's not any other issues. So I'm not too concerned about the rest of them for now. So we're just going to leave it at that. But anyway, if you did want to try replace a valve seal without pulling the engine apart, that is how you would do it. So you can probably watch my other videos if you wanted to see how to put it all back together here. I'm not going to go through that right now, but obviously you're going to put the cam back in and then redo the timing belt. So get it back on the road and see if that seals it up. Thanks for watching, guys.